This is a technical demonstration of the Easy E-Rate software by Kinetic Technologies. Kinetic Technologies CEO is Evan Fisher. The CTO is Alec Manconi. The COO is Asti Quijano. Lead developer is Dave Stinsgard. And my name is Lee Pollock, software specialist. Easy E-Rate consists of 4 sections: applications, quotes, parts, and administration. Within administration, we have 3 subsections: tenants, roles, and import status. Within the tenants, the global administrator of Easy E-Rate will create a tenant for each customer company. And once those are created, the global admin can then add a tenant administrator into that account. The tenant administrator can then add his or her own users from their company into their tenant and assign them roles. Within the roles section, the tenant administrator can create job-specific roles for each user. And these roles will control the access and permissions for each user. An example of how this may be used would be a quoter role would be assigned to any users that are responsible for constructing quotes, and they would only have access to the quotes section of Easy E-Rate. Another example would be an inventory manager role, whose would be the only role with the option of making modifications to the parts section. The third section within administration is import status. Every 24 hours, the 470 data is imported into Easy E-Rate. If there's ever any sort of error or failure, this screen here will show you exactly what has gone wrong. And once that is reported to us, we'll be able to quickly resolve any issues that come up through this import. We'll move on to the parts section. The only section within parts at this point is management. We'll take a look at that. And here we can see our parts list. All the parts are organized by their category and manufacturer and part number. We can actually filter them by their actual category and the manufacturer of the parts. And also search for part numbers and receive the parts we're looking for. Now there are 2 different ways to import parts into our parts list. Using the tools menu, we can add a new part. And this is the manual route where we individually add a part to the list by selecting the category, a manufacturer, enter a part number, and a brief description as well as the price. Once that is saved, that part is added to our parts list. The recommended way to add parts to the list would be to use the CSV bulk part import. And with this option, you're able to import a large amount of parts in one import using a CSV file. Now it must be formatted in a specific manner, so we do include a template that can be downloaded. And this has examples of how the parts should be entered into this list. And the main thing to remember doing the CSV bulk import is that the category and manufacturer must match exactly to our entries in the database. So we have included a valid category list and a valid manufacturer list for reference. Once the CSV is completed, we can move on to actually importing that file. So we'll choose our import file here. And one thing to note is that if there are any errors, Easy E-Rate will detect those errors and give you the opportunity to correct them before moving on in the import or forcing you to work back and correct those within the CSV. So we'll import this list, and as you can see, our CSV had some mistakes on each of the items here. So it's actually allowing us the option of correcting those fields before we import. We'll go ahead and make those corrections, and we'll reattempt the import. And on the fly, Easy E-Rate has allowed you to make those corrections, and all the parts were successfully imported. Now, once you have your parts in the parts list, we can move on to the quotes. This section consists of templates and quote management. And within templates, this is a work in progress, but this is a text editor that will allow you to create a template quote and template emails that can be used through the quoting workflow. Now, what's nice about the templates is it allows you to use placeholder variables when constructing your quote. So you can personalize your quotes to specific people while reusing the same quote. As you can see, you can use contact information from the primary, technical, and contacts, as well as use the application number, the billing address that's input on the application. There's about 16 different placeholder variables that you can use when constructing these templates. And once you make any changes, of course, you hit save, and you can use those when it's time to actually build a quote. Now we'll come back to quote management, so we'll move up to applications. You have two options here, stats and list, and we'll take a look at stats here. This is just a visualization of all of the 470 applications from the most recent import. It just gives you a visualization of where these applications are coming from, how many, and the types. So within the list, this actually lists all of the applications that were part of that import, and you're able to go through and view. You can sort by state, type, applicant name, application number, and we'll take a look at this application here. Once you hit view, it actually brings up all of the application information, including the contact, technical contact, an authorized person listed on the application, their billing information, or excuse me, their billing address, application type, all of the information that's submitted on that application. It also allows, it also will pull in the category 1 and category 2 requests. As you can see on this one, we have several category 2 requests, and we have the option, it also shows the status here of active, but we do have the option of quoting directly from this application. So we'll select the quote application button. We'll give this quote a name. We'll call it AZ. Okay, create quote. Great, so we've created a quote working with this specific application. And we have listed here line items from that application. And we can add parts directly from this page. So we'll select add part. And from here, we can select our category, and we can select our manufacturer and search and get a list of all parts that meet that category and manufacturer. From here, we can go ahead and add however many items we'd like to add here. We'll select 5. And the part has been added to the quote. We can view that by going to the Parts tab. And if we needed to make adjustments, we could make those adjustments directly from this tab here. So we'll change this to 3. We'll select the update part. We could also completely remove it if we'd like. We can add additional parts all directly from this page. Once we have our quote filled out, we will have a button on this page that's not currently there, obviously, that says Send to Customer. And what that will do, once you click Send to Customer, it will actually bring you to the quote templates, where you select the template, the email template and the quote template you'd like to use. And from there, you'll have the option to Send to Customer. So that template will be filled out with the information from that specific application and sent on to the customer. The quote gets created into a PDF file that's attached to the template email and sent on to that contact that's listed on the application. And within quote management, all your quotes are available here. You can check the status of the quote. Let's say we just went through the process of sending the quote to Arizona Charter Academy. The user can actually change the status to Sent to Customer and save changes. And if we visit the management once again, our status is updated and that quote is on its way. So thank you for taking the time to watch this technical overview, and have a great day.